going a little live early, so let's do this. All you need is your mat, the space of your mat, and our legs are going to go a little bit wider than the space of the mat, so you want to have a little bit of space. The wall's going to be hindering me, so I'll flip around as we go through this. You probably don't have to watch too much, maybe just have out of the corner of your eye what I'm doing so you can see. The rest I'll try to direct you with my voice as much as possible. So we're going to lay all the way down flat on the back. And let's just take a moment and settle in. You can begin with your legs extended out straight. Arms relaxed. Just let your whole body relax into the earth. Breathing in deeply. All right, let's inhale. Bring one knee into the chest. All the way in. Stretching that gently. And we'll begin circling that ankle. We're clasping just beneath the kneecap. You're not hitting right on the knee. You're just beneath that kneecap. You want to let that knee come all the way up, or the thigh come into the chest. Breathing in deeply, so you're massaging your internal organs with your thigh. So you want that deep belly breath while you're here. Circle the other direction. Neck is relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Okay, we're going to zip from the perineum all the way up to the sternum, getting nice and stable. We're going to lift the straight leg up, and we're going to circle 3 big circles. We're going to make 3 big circles with that, and then we're going to reverse that direction, extending as if someone's pulling on your leg. If there's popping or clicking, see if you can adjust for pelvic neutral, and then really reach the leg. So get space between that joint there and make the muscles do the work. 3 circles, one direction, 3 the other direction. And then what we're going to do with the leg that we have with our hands is we're going to open it out to the side. So that's our first opener. It doesn't have to go very far. You still want to have your belly zipped up, so that's stabilizing you. You can take your hand and place it on the opposite hip so that you've got a little bit of leverage and you're not following that leg as it opens. Big breaths, shoulders relaxed. Good. We're going to guide that knee across the body very gently. We still want the knee close in to our chest. So we're going to take that across. So that's going to stretch gently. And you want the opposite arm reaching out, not too high, so you don't want to pull on that neck, but you want to find a spot where you're going to get a nice chest opener as well. And then we're going to let the head follow and look at that hand. Subtle nuances you want to remember are you are always working to create more space in the joints. So if you're feeling like you're shortening, I want you to think lengthening, so lengthening through the bones, creating space in the pelvis, long spine. So alignment goes a long way through each of these moves. And then of course the breath. While you're here in this beautiful twist, you want to be breathing deeply in the diaphragm, deep in the belly. That massages all of the internal organs. So we're going to come back in, bringing that knee into our chest. And this time we're going to take the foot and we're going to aim it towards our opposite shoulder. Then we're going to take the hands in between that leg and underneath so that we can get a hold of that bottom part of the leg. And we're going to take the elbow and push it on the inside of that thigh to create opening. When you're ready, we're going to take the forehead towards that shin, and we still want to keep our alignment. So think extending through the body from the crown of the head, so we're not shortening the space at our waist. Lengthening through that and rounding. Shoulders stay pocketed and away from the ears. Breathing in deeply. Opening and pushing that hip open. You want to be off your ankle so you're not twisting at the ankle. Good deep breaths. Again, neck, head, shoulders relaxed. On the next exhale, go ahead and bring that leg down with you. And you want to feel that stretch gently in the hip. We're going to shift that over by sliding the other leg that's been straight. We're going to take it up underneath the other leg like you have crisscross legs. That's going to bring that knee now to the center. So instead of having it open, we're going to take it center and across, and that's going to get our piriformis just a little bit more. We're going to see if we can grab a hold of our shins, and we're going to give a little bit, just a tiny bit of that movement to stretch through the piriformis. Once again, if you look at your knee, it should be right in front of your nose so that you can feel that more here in the glute piriformis area rather than in that hip. We're going to take a big breath in and then exhale and release all of that out. Bring the knee back into the chest, extend that straight leg back out straight to hold there, and we're going to go into a hamstring stretch. So now we're going to extend that leg straight. If you're not able to get it straight, it's okay. Find wherever you can, find where that is for you, and see if you can extend through the back of that knee. Don't lock it out, but do go as straight as you can get. And then we're going to extend through the heel and press all the way through to a dorsal flexion. The toes face towards the nose. That's going to elongate that entire chain. You want to think about your sits bones lengthening down or pressing down. Don't let the sits bones rise up towards the chest. You don't want to shorten your waist space. So think about creating elongation through the center. And that stabilizes for just another moment, and then we're just going to ask that leg to come in a little bit closer if you'd like to get a little bit more hamstring stretch. I'd like to keep the dorsal flexion and a balanced tripod foot. Shoulders and neck relaxed, big breath. We're just going to rotate a tiny bit so that we can take the heel and face it crossing the midsection. So the toes face out, the heel faces inward, and we're going to lengthen just a little bit more. That's going to hit behind that hamstring, cross through the seats, all the way out the outside of that knee, getting the abductor stretch. So we're going to finish with that. Reset the leg so that it's straight. Reset all the muscles so they're active and engaged. And you're going to lengthen that leg all the way out to the floor. And then bring it down and relax. And you're going to notice, just for a moment, the difference from one leg to the other. I almost couldn't even tell when I was dropping my leg down because I felt like it was going further because there's so much energy going through there. So just enjoy that delicious energy going through that beautiful leg, and then we'll do the other side. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Good breath. Let the body digest all that beautiful work. All right, so let's hug the other knee into the chest. I might have to flip around. I just might go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to flip around. And you do what you need to do to make sure you've got space there. So we're hugging the knee in first, and we're going to circle the ankle. We might move a tiny bit faster on this side. We'll still stay in a nice rhythm, but I won't talk so much through it. So we keep our pace. Reverse the direction, so it's a gentle ankle stretch. Okay, active. We have to have an active core so that we can get that leg in that nice circle. Remember, if it's popping, so like mine just started to pop, I know that I need to extend, or imagine if someone's pulling that leg so that I can get more space and I can activate the muscles. 3 big circles. This is such a beautiful move. It helps stimulate the lymphatic system. So we've got 3 of those, and then we'll release that down. We're going to start with an opener, so we'll take that leg open first. Try to keep your hip down. Big breaths. I like 3 good breaths when you're in each pose. All right, on the exhale, we'll go ahead and take that leg and bring it all the way across. Remember, we want the knee inside because we're really trying to activate that hip flexor, always trying to turn that hip flexor, re-engage that hip flexor correctly. When we sit so much, we shorten it, so we always want to have an opportunity to get that hip flexor to reset. We're gonna, if a wall isn't here, I would stretch out my arm a lot more. So just check that for yourself if you can extend through the opposite arm, and then we're gonna also look towards that hand. So we've got a nice twist going on here. Nothing should be painful. There might be inertia breaking up of the tissue, maybe tightness, but it should not be painful. Let's bring that knee back into the chest. And then we're going to bring the foot inward and we're going to push the knee outward. We're going to create a little bit of leverage with our elbow. We're going to push that elbow to the inside of the thigh. When you're ready, you can take the forehead to the knee. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to just hold into this position for a few moments. It really opens up through the groin, through the hip flexor. It also really engages through the glutes. Watch that you're not on your ankle. Big breath, shoulders relaxed. And we'll finish that. We'll come back straight with the knee still staying in. We're going to slide the straight leg up into the right into the crevice of that other leg, and we're going to do our little pretzel stretch. So your nose and your knee should be on the same line. You want that positioning there, and you'll know in just a moment when you feel that stretch going a little bit deeper into the piriformis. So it's going to come across to the glute, and you can bring a little bit of tension on that foot. You can even take both of them if you like to on our pretzel stretch. Neck, shoulders relaxed, big breaths. And we'll unwind from that. We'll take that leg, the leg straight again, and then we'll straighten the other leg and we'll go to our hamstring stretch. Ideally dorsal flexion. We really like to get a dorsal flexion in there. It's a very different stretch when the toe is pointed, so go ahead and reach. Really try to open up the back of that leg. Big breath, shoulders relaxed. Wherever you are is fine. So if you're here and you're just grabbing the back of that thigh, or you're taking your fabric and holding onto that, that's fine. Just be present with yourself. Know what you need to do. One leg's going to be totally different than the other. I've got totally different legs, so just be aware of that. Don't try to force anything. Okay, the last piece is that we're going to rotate the heel towards the inside of the body, the midline, and then the toes are going to rotate out. That's going to hit a little bit differently in the insertion point at that femur to the hip. So we're just going to take a moment on that. You're going to feel probably that sensation go all the way up the outside of your leg. So we're going to just take a moment, stimulating a lot of blood circulation through there, which is great. And then we're going to come back, straighten that leg, perfect alignment. And then I want you to imagine that your leg is trying to grow longer all the way as it goes down. Activate through the abdominal muscles, engage the powerhouse, bring that leg all the way down next to the other leg, and relax. Let your whole body just digest that and process all that you've just done. Breathing in deeply. If you have more of a yoga practice you want to do, awesome. If not, I will see you tonight at 4 if you're going to join us. There's lots of replays for us. We had built-in counters to that, so just enjoy. Either go about your day or carry on with your yoga practice. All right, I hope that helps. Peace and blessings.